Your team did well last year, and what would you like to do better this year with your team?
Yeah, I would say we got better as the season went on. I think you always look at a team, how do they improve from week one to the end of the season, and there's no question we all improved as the season went, so that'll be critical to do. We were very opportunistic on defense in regards to taking the ball away and creating turnovers. We need to continue to do that. And then I think for us, it would be a lot that we can be better at. You're always looking at how you can improve, but a couple of things. We need to be better at protecting the football offensively. And we'd like to score more touchdowns in the red zone. When you look at us, I think we had the same number of trips to the red zone last year that Alabama did, but yet they had, I want to say, 7 more touchdowns than we did. So we need to make sure when we get down there, it's hard to score in this league, as you guys know. When we get down there, we need to make sure we're converting those drives into touchdowns.
Front row and then pass it to your left.
Hey Shane, your 5th SEC Media Days as Carolina's head coach, what would you say is the difference in how this program is perceived from that first year to now this year?
A lot in regards to, I think about this every year, coming to this event in 2021 over in Hoover, and there weren't very many expectations for that team. There was a national reporter that week that said the ceiling for our program in 2021 was 2 wins was the ceiling, and now here we are 5 years later, and y'all are having conversations about Lenora Sellers being a Heisman Trophy candidate. People are talking about this team being a playoff team, and we embrace that, Rick. We embrace the expectations, but it's certainly changed in regards to how we're seen. There's more attention on us and more people that want to talk about South Carolina football than what there was in 2021. But we're also very respectful and very cognizant of the fact that it's truly year to year. Every season's a new season. We've come a long way since 2021, but we're not slowing down by any stretch of the imagination, and understanding that we did a lot in 24, but 25 is a new year, and regardless of what people are saying about us or how we're perceived, we ultimately have to go play and coach good football, and that's what we're trying to do.
Stay in the front row and then pass it to your left.
I'm David Cloninger, Post and Courier. Shane, DQ Smith is here with you today. How rare is it to have a 4-year starter, to have him all that time and for the guy to start for all 4 years and play at a high level?
Yeah, certainly rare in today's time, for sure, because of the portal, you don't see a lot of that. But that's why I love, DQ's story, David, and from covering us regularly. I mean, the guy's a high school quarterback that I think Georgia Southern was the only school that we had to beat for him. It shows how smart we are as coaches. We were actually initially having conversations with him about gray shirting, which I don't even know if you still do that, where you don't even come the fall of your freshman year, you come the following January as well, because we weren't quite sure he was going to be ready to play for us or that we'd have a scholarship. Not only, thank God, did we not do that, we brought him in, and by game 3, he's starting for us. I think his first start ever was against Georgia in 2022 as well. And then to see how he has just continued to grow on and off the field, super proud of him, love what he's about. And it's a great, testament to, one, the development in our program, but you don't hear those stories much anymore. You hear about the 5-star recruits that come and get a lot of money and go play 3 years and go to the NFL. Here's a guy that played high school quarterback, got no money to come to South Carolina, and has played his butt off for his career, has gotten better, is a leader on our team, and is now here in Atlanta for SEC Media Day.
Front row.
Dick Cox with Indy Sports, Cox Sports Broadcasting. Coach, you are a special teams guru. How do you feel going into the season having to replace everybody on your special teams?
Not very good, to be honest. In all my years of coaching, Dick, and I don't think, and I'm going to say this downstairs or wherever the main media room is later, but I don't think in all my years of coaching I've ever been a part of a team where you have to replace literally every key special teams component from the year before. Our punter, our kicker, our long snapper, our holder, our kickoff returner, and our punt returner are all going to be new as well. We've got some guys that have done it return kicks wise, whether it be Nick Harbor or Jalen Kilgore, but not primarily. So it's concerning, but I like the young guys that we have. There's no question about it. The guys that we have in those roles. We've got some guys that have kind of waited their turn behind our previous specialists. We've got some guys that we've brought in as well that we have high expectations for. So that's what's exciting and cool about coaching is guys leave and now you get a chance to develop the next guy. And that's what we're doing. Jody Camillus leading our special teams. It's a big challenge for us, but something that we've been hard at work on since January and eager to get those guys out there and get them going.
Right side, third row.
Trevor Denton, Wade 31. Right after that Alabama game is when you guys go on that winning streak to close out the regular season. How did that Alabama game kind of change the trajectory of your 2024 season?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. One, we need to plan better. Y'all got me in here at the same time. Commissioner Sankey's doing his remarks. No wonder. That's a full room. Appreciate the local guys being here as well. I would say a couple things. One, that was Lenoris continuing to just take the next step after that game. The Ole Miss game, I think, was the week before, and that was game 5. And the Ole Miss game was the first SEC game that Lenoris had played in its entirety because he missed the second half of the LSU game and he missed part of the first half of the Kentucky game with an injury. So he was a young quarterback that was going to continue to get better. He did a lot of really good things in Tuscaloosa that day. So he took another step and continued to get better. But I'd say the other thing would just be us as a team at that point, there was a lot of frustration. And in that locker room after that game, there was very much a feeling of enough's enough. Like we're tired of this feeling. And we came back in. I met with some of the leaders on our team like I always do the following week. And they sat in the staff room where we meet. And I'll never forget Debo Williams, our starting linebacker, saying, I asked him, like, hey, what's on y'all's minds? And what's your thoughts? And they said, we're winning out. We ain't losing a game the rest of the season. And it gives me chills thinking about it. And that's what we did. So it was the leadership on our team just saying, we're tired of this and enough's enough. And then us as a team, particularly our young quarterback, is continuing to get better.
Middle, third row.
We have to earn our respect and we've got to do it consistently. And when the rankings or predictions come out this week, the normal schools are going to be probably right up there at the top. When I say the normal ones, the ones that have been picked at the top for pretty much the last 20 years of the SEC in a lot of ways. So we've certainly got to earn our respect. But my point to Paul and my point to anyone is we've shown we can do it. And I told him, and I made the example on set was, and I didn't get to say it at the end, but 2010 was my last season working at South Carolina as an assistant. In that season, we played for the SEC championship, and we beat Georgia, we beat Florida, we beat Tennessee, we beat Clemson, we beat Alabama when they were number 1 in the country. And the resources that we have in Columbia now, on and off the field, are so much better than what we had in 2010. Now I get it, the league is different, and all those teams have different coaches, and they're in a different place as well. But in this league, if you show you're one of the best teams, which we've beaten so many of the best teams in this league, there's teams that we haven't, but as you continue to recruit and continue to develop, yeah, absolutely, it's attainable. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was, Jordan. I didn't come here to go 7-5 every year. I came to South Carolina to compete for championships, and we're there, and we're continuing to develop and get better as well.
Middle, fourth row.
Jerry Bates, WNSP, Mobile, Alabama. Coach, you'll be right back here in Atlanta at the end of August, playing in an Aflac kickoff game against an opponent in Virginia Tech, a school that has meant a lot to your life. What does that game and that matchup mean to you personally?
Personally, it'll be certainly unique playing a school that you've spent so much of your life at. And I've played schools that I used to coach at. I've played against Mississippi State, and I've played against Georgia Tech, and I've played against Georgia, and I've played against Tennessee, and I've played against Oklahoma. Those are all places that I've coached, but this one's different because it's literally, there's a statue of my dad outside the stadium. So it's different from that standpoint. I got great memories, so it'll be it's probably even more intense because it's game one, because there's going to be so much build up. There already is, and there will continue to be leading up to that game. But at the end of the day, it's about the players on the field. That's what it's about, and we need to make sure that we are prepared to go play really well against a talented, Virginia Tech team. And we know that they're going to be playing really well. They'll play really well against us, and make sure that we're not some of those teams. All you have to do is look around college football every year, and there's always a handful of teams that all summer long they listen to how great they're going to be and what their season's going to be. Then they go out week one, they get absolutely smacked in the face. I mean, there's examples of that every year in college football. There was last year. So we need to make sure that we prepare the right way and get ready to go play and coach really well against a good Virginia Tech team.
Last question right here, real quick.
This is another question about going against Virginia Tech. We know how you wear your emotions on your sleeve sometimes. How are you going to be, or just give us a preview of what your emotions are going to be like, and how are you going to keep them in check, so to speak?
I think they'll be fine. In so many ways, Virginia Tech is still very special to me, Rick, but I mean, I've been back to Blacksburg one time in the last 7 years, and you say, man, you're an awful son. You don't go see your parents in Blacksburg, but they're always in Columbia, and I've got great memories in Blacksburg, but it's not like I, live and die with Virginia Tech football every Saturday and things like that as well. But there are so many great memories. So I'm sure, it's pregame, before the game starts, and you hear fight songs that and you hear cheers, and you see people there, because there's a lot of people on that staff. Not just my dad, obviously doesn't coach there anymore, but there's a lot of people on that staff that I have relationships with, either coached me in college or teammates of mine, and Tori and Gray in college as well. So it'll be different from that standpoint, but I'll be honest with you, and I may be wrong, but I think I'll be so focused on just game ones, because game ones, and y'all have heard me say this before, that cover us regularly, they're really, really hard, because there's just so much unknown. Because we're not to get on the soapbox again, but we're the only sport in the world that doesn't get to have a preseason game or a scrimmage or an exhibition game at any level against another team. So we have a month of practicing against ourselves, and then you go play for real, and it counts. We don't get any kind of practice game. Not to mention, because of roster turnover in college football, every year is just completely different, and you don't know a lot about the team. And Virginia Tech will be a challenge because they've got a new offensive coordinator that wasn't even in college football last year. They've got a new defensive coordinator that wasn't in college football last year. So it's a lot of unknown. What will they be doing schematically? They've got a lot of new personnel. So I would honestly, I'm not trying to dodge the question, but I really think I'll be more focused on that, because game ones are really tough. You saw that last year with Old Dominion, and thinking about doing all the things in the month of August to make sure we're at our best on that Sunday when we're back here in 48 days as well. But it'll be exciting, but I'll be glad when it's over. I'll be honest with you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you guys. Have a great week.